Hello everyone, and welcome to the Danganronpa Endgame Speculation Special, where we're going to be talking about our predictions and guesses for how this game is going to end, and a few of the last little details you have to work out about the mastermind, why this is all happening, and that kind of stuff, you know? That sort of thing. I should say from the start, Danganronpa, the part we're up to right now, is right after you find that the mastermind has survived. We kind of think they're dead for a bit, but it turns out they're not dead. They are in fact doing something to kind of trick us, I guess. And so at this point in the game, what we're doing is we're kind of looking around to see if we could solve the murder of this apparent 16th student, as we're being led to believe it is.
Right.
So we've paid attention to the game to this point. As I mentioned before, we never played the game before, so our guesses could be true or false. I don't really know for sure. I haven't seen how the game ends, so again, this is just our speculation. May come true, may not. But I figured I'd give you guys warnings just in case, you know, you want to figure it out for yourselves and you don't want to hear our interpretation of events in case that kind of sways you one way or the other. So that's a warning I just want to give off the bat. Do you want to talk first about anything? Because we kind of talked this out together, and I think some of the more intriguing parts you came up with, and then that kind of led me to... Yeah, there were certain things you said that I was like, I think maybe you're right about that, because I didn't really think that was going to be something that was notable at first, but then later on, as the game kind of progressed, it did.
Well, to start with, the body.
The body, yes.
Yes. Well, I mean, this wasn't just me, but we believe the body to belong to Junko.
Oh, you're just gonna dive right into it?
Yeah.
You're not gonna do any little build-up, like, oh, well, they saw this and that and that and that, but we're just gonna go right in there, say who it is?
Yeah, based on the fingernails and the shoes. And then at the end, you can see the hair, too. The jacket was, like, on backwards, like, so it would cover up as much of her as possible, and the bomb, whatever. So we believe that body to belong to Junko. And relatedly, before, when Junko was alive, she had freckles in the game, but then in her like magazine shoots she didn't.
Whoa, you're getting way ahead of yourself here. This is getting to like way deep territory. Like I want to save that for like the later section when we're discussing something else.
Well, I don't know what to say then.
So what I was gonna say just about the body itself. Now this is what kind of clued me off about the body, because I like to kind of see like mystery movies, and I used to read like Sherlock Holmes, those mystery books. So the thing that, you know, kind of clued me off about the body not quite being right was, I mean, there's no reason to really keep something under wraps unless there's something suspicious about it. And so the reason why this kind of seems suspicious to me is because just a few episodes ago, we got that whole thing about, oh, there's this 16th student, and it's I can't even say the name. I'll never be able to pronounce that name. Mukuro Ikusaba or something like that. And so we know that there's this 16th student apparently. We don't know what they look like. We don't know any details about them. So, you know, why would it matter if the body was covered up unless seeing the body would clue us off about something? So that's why I think when we found that body upstairs, it's not going to be who we think it is. You know, it's not going to be this 16th student, whoever they say it's supposed to be. You know, and they also were saying at one point, oh, it might be Kyoko, because we don't know where Kyoko is still. And I don't buy that for like one bit. I don't see it being Kyoko at all.
No, it's definitely not Kyoko.
So the thing with the body was it was covered up. It had a wound in like the stomach. And it's like curiously similar to how Junko died earlier in the game when she gets impaled with like spears or whatever.
And it did say that the body had wounds that were days old.
They were days old wounds, which, and if you line it up, I mean, what else could that really pertain to?
Yeah. I didn't realize it had only been a few days. Like, it feels like it was so much longer.
Yeah, I don't think they really like gloss over like a long period of time along the way. I think it's pretty much playing out as we're progressing through the game. I don't think it skips anything. So that I found really mysterious. Another thing which, you know, pushed me for it being Junko as well was the fact that the bodies that we, you know, already had up until this point in the game, you know, so I don't think it could have been like another body, was that all the other bodies died of different kinds of wounds. I mean, the other one that was kind of similar to it, which I acknowledged to you, was that it could have been Sayaka, but I just don't see that fitting, because she did get stabbed as well.
Right.
But all the other bodies, they died in different ways, so I don't think it'd possibly be any of the other ones. And yeah, I don't think the 16th student died, obviously. According to Kyoko's interpretation of how this whole thing is running, and I'm inclined to believe that, there actually is no headmaster. There's supposed to be only the 16th student who's the ultimate despair, and they're running the show, according to her. Kyoko seems to be right about most things, so I'm inclined to believe her. I mean, what do you think?
Right. We have to believe her, right?
She's the most trustworthy one we've had so far in the game who's trying to solve everything along with us. So, you know, unless something happens in the last few moments of the game, I'm gonna be trusting her. I see no reason not to.
Yeah, and it's true, like, in mystery novels and things, usually the mastermind or whatever is somebody that you know.
It's not going to be someone random.
It's not usually a random 30-year-old man. Oh, I'm sorry, middle-aged.
Yeah, whatever.
Middle-aged man.
Of course. Going along the whole game, I was figuring the mastermind was going to be someone in particular. And given like the way the game is played out, how, you know, according to this Monokuma lore, he can only be controlled by someone, you know, while they're controlling him. I guess they do it in that like monitoring room that we just found in that other episode. So they probably use the computers there to control him, and someone usually has to be there to control it. So pretty much means that it has to be someone separate from any of us right now, and also has to be someone separate from the people who've died, unless one of them didn't die. And that's where things get interesting, and this is what you were going to get into in a bit. So I guess I'll let you go back to that, since you kind of like were the one joking around about that, and it ended up being kind of something that's a bit viable as I see it.
Yeah, well, he can't be any of us because we've all talked to him.
Yeah, we've all talked to him.
Been in the same room.
Whenever we go for the trials, we all have to gather up, and the only one that wasn't there, or the only two that weren't there, I should say, were the ones that initially died. So that would be Junko and Sayaka.
Right.
Because Junko was killed as some kind of punishment, and Sayaka was killed, you know, by Leon. She was the first murder.
Yeah, but Monokuma had gathered us all in the gym about Sayaka's murder, so it couldn't be Junko either. Well, we were trying to think of who it could be, and, well, I had just kind of thrown this out there as a joke, but I was like, oh my gosh, what if there's an evil twin?
Yeah, that was something we said, it wasn't too long ago, but it was like maybe about a week ago or so. It was like while we were doing like the Sakura trial, essentially. I think that was around the time we were talking about it. Like it was like the end of that trial, maybe.
And I thought like,
because we always throw a crap ton of crazy ideas out there about like different things could be like, what if it's a reality TV show? And that ended up being kind of true in a way too, apparently. I guess.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my god, Chihiro's a man, and then it was. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is wild. So yeah, I had like jokingly said evil twin, but then like analyzing more things, it kind of seems like possibly it could be. I thought that it would be really cool if it was Makoto's evil twin, but I don't think it can be, because I think there were clues earlier with Junko, with the fact that she had freckles in game.
This goes all the way back to the beginning of the game and like something that they said in the text, which was kind of
so long ago.
It was like kind of glossed over really quickly. Like I think it was in like 2 lines of dialogue, and then it got just kind of like shifted aside. And I didn't think much of it at the time, but go ahead, say what it was. Yeah,
she has freckles in game, but then in her magazines that you see, they're all around the school. You can still see them. She doesn't have freckles. And I just figured like, oh, they're photoshopped out.
Yeah, whatever. It's like Photoshop or foundation or whatever. You know, something like that.
Like really heavy, because you know in Asia they use really heavy things. Well, probably here too, but I don't know anything about here. Anyway, so, but Makoto had said like, oh, you look really different in real life compared to like in the photo shoots or whatever, and I don't know what she even said, but I was like, duh, it's because of her freckles, you idiot. And like, but she didn't say that. And I was like, why wouldn't you just say like, oh, they photoshopped out my freckles. That's what's different. And I guess that's the difference, the like evil twin difference. One has freckles and one doesn't.
Yeah, and that's something when I first saw, I just kind of like, you know, laughed about it. I was like, oh yeah, well, like obviously all these models are faked and they have Photoshop and whatever, that kind of thing. So I didn't really think much of it at the time.
Right.
What kind of got me back on that recently though, is that now Junko is kind of being brought up again with this new body that we found. The body had fake nails, which look similar to the ones that Junko was wearing.
I knew they had to be. I was like, the only ones with nails that I remember are Junko. Possibly Celeste had them, but they definitely weren't red. If Celeste was wearing any.
And what else was it? The boots. The boots as well.
Totally hers.
Yeah, they were hers. I kind of went back and I looked at the initial videos where we had Junko in them, and like, yeah, that's looks pretty similar. And then even when you have her lying dead on the ground, it looks like her as well. Like the body. Remember when she died the first time? Or when she initially died, I guess the only time.
Yeah.
Because whatever, it's just the body planted, obviously. So, yeah. And what else was there? There's something else. I forget what it is now, though.
With Junko to prove that it's her?
Yeah. Oh, yes, that's right. So, I remember this because I was looking back to see what boots she was wearing at the time. And this is what really got me onto this train of thought. So, when I was watching her death scene again, the way she dies is really, really odd. But you, like, don't think much of it at the time, I guess, because it's just, like, you're shocked that she's actually dying. So when she gets stabbed, she, like, looks shocked, and she's like, wait, this wasn't the way it was supposed to happen, or something
Oh,
like
is that what
and,
she says?
Yeah. And I was like, wait, what does that mean? And I'm thinking she must have been working with someone.
Her evil twin?
Her evil twin.
I love that there's an evil twin. Like, it's not just a twin, it's an evil twin. Like, of course.
I think it has to be, just from, like, everything about her, because, like, I wouldn't even thought about her character again until they brought up this new body. I'm like, that kind of looks like Junko. And then I went back and, like, watched, like, the first episodes of the game with her to see, you know, what she looked like again, like, see her nails and boots to remember, say, like, is that her body? And then all this other stuff just jumped out to me, along with, like, what you had said earlier. I'm like, I think it might actually be a thing where this is, like, an evil twin. And I don't really know what they were trying to accomplish by, because I was, like, talking to you about this as well. Like, what's the point? Like, why would they have someone being, like, a fake Junko and, like, presenting themselves as the model? That I still can't really figure out myself, because I'm not sure what the point of it is.
The only thing I was saying that if they were twins, Junko is famous, and for some reason they all have memories from before they came, so they know Junko's supposed to be there. So they had to have someone pretending to be Junko or being Junko, and apparently it's not her because of the freckles, and Makoto said, like, you look different.
Yeah.
So apparently is the twin Mukuro Ikusaba, I guess? So the body...
I don't know why she has a different name, though.
I don't know either.
That kind of throws me off as well.
I don't know what Junko's last name was, but whatever.
It was Inoshima, something like that.
Okay, whatever.
Unless it was like a fake name for her, you know, like
That's
modeling
true.
career,
It could be
which
a
is
model
possibility.
name. Yeah.
That does happen.
All the time. So I'm guessing... So that means that the evil twin is dead. But so they were both evil.
Well, yeah, that's kind of confusing then. They're doubly evil.
I'm confusing
Although
myself.
maybe the other one wasn't evil. Although I don't,
just
like, she was working with her. Maybe she was, like, forced into doing it. She
So
might have had her
Junko's the
brainwashed
evil
as
twin.
well. Although it does seem like she was working, because, like, the line that I said, that she was, like, aware of what was going on.
Right.
But maybe she didn't know exactly what she was going to do. I don't know, it's weird.
It is weird.
Because then, like, according to that, we never really met the true Junko, so we don't even know what her motivation is in all this.
She is the evil
I guess
twin.
she is the true ultimate despair. It's not really the other one, like we're being led to believe.
I guess so, but don't we know that she's the ultimate... Whatever she was?
She was the ultimate
supermodel?
fashionista.
Oh, that's what it was.
But, I mean, I guess you could be the ultimate more than one thing at once.
I guess so.
So otherwise, that the other one died, it doesn't make much sense that they were, like, the ultimate despair or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially since not Kyoko. Especially since Junko was the one that was manipulating, not manipulating, but controlling Monokuma throughout all this.
Well, maybe Mukuro Ikusaba, is she the one that did whatever the heck she did in that classroom?
You mean
And
the
that's why
killing?
she's the despair?
The
Yeah.
one that stole those bodies? I
Yeah.
mean, it could have been. I mean, there's still not too much about that either that we know about.
Yeah, I don't really know anything about that. We don't have enough information for that, I think. Or I
Yeah.
don't.
Like, these other things I can kind of tell just by the way mystery novels tend to go. And, I mean, it's not really concrete. Like I said, this could all be wrong, and I could be totally off on this. Like, maybe it'll end up being something stupid, like, maybe not stupid, but something like, oh, it's really Kyoko this whole time, but I don't think it's going to be
dumb.
that. That'd kind of annoy me if it was just, oh, it really was Kyoko.
It did completely throw me that Sakura was the mole. I had no idea.
Yeah, that was a surprise for me, too. That was genuinely a surprise.
Because I'm just kind of like throwing out random guesses and they're somehow sticking. I'm not as good at mysteries as he is.
The other thing that I just wanted to talk about real quick, I guess, with the speculation was about the headmaster. Because we were wondering, you know, the whole game you think it's going to be like the headmaster that's controlling everything, and then all of a sudden Kyoko's like, well, I have no evidence to support this, but the headmaster actually isn't doing any of this. It's actually, you know, one of the other students that's behind everything. And you're like, wait, what? But, you know, it's Kyoko, so you have to believe her. Even though if she does turn out to be evil, I guess I was a fool, but, you know, I have to believe her for now that, you know, there is no mastermind. I mean, not not that there's no mastermind, but that the headmaster wasn't the mastermind. What I think happened in the context of the game with everything we've seen so far, with like the missing memories and all the talk about the great tragedy, was I think I was also right when I was making that joke about Fallout. That there's some nuclear warfare or something, the world outside is inhabitable. So I think initially what happened was the school was basically like a shelter for everyone.
Yes, that's what it seems like.
You know, the headmaster like locked everyone in the school and had it all bolted shut to keep the students safe. And so that's why they initially had to stay inside the school, was because that was like the only way they could live. If they actually step outside, they'll die, which is why it's like a joke.
Or turn into ghouls.
Yeah, which is why it's like a joke that Monokuma says, oh yeah, the reward for you know, killing someone and getting away with it is you get to leave the school, because that's basically a death sentence in itself, I think.
Right, yeah, I think so.
So it's not really like any kind of mercy for like the person that gets away with it. It's actually just another form of punishment. So
the ultimate despair.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. Initially, it was like a refuge. It was a shelter for people. And like whatever happened inside the school, you know, and that's what that one room pertains to, where like there's all those dead bodies. I think something happened and someone killed, like, I don't know, either the other students or some of the teachers or whoever was like trying to organize things. And they probably killed the headmaster as well. And that's going to be probably, I guess, Junko.
Do you think that they just went stir crazy?
I don't know. I mean,
like, what happened there?
It's hard to tell. There really isn't too much that we have to know about. Like I said, we never met the actual Junko, if I'm right.
True, yeah.
So it's hard to tell what her motivations were.
Question, why would you bring a student to your school that is known as the ultimate despair? Like,
I don't know.
Can we just leave that one home?
I have no idea.
The Fashionista twin.
Well, I mean, they also brought the ultimate biking gang leader and like
he was amazing.
He was awesome.
Excuse you.
You know, aside from killing one person, he wasn't all that bad, but
poor
you know, still, it's just not a very good reputation you'd think that you'd want to have at your school.
Maybe they thought he was Kuwabara. Okay.
Well, that I can understand, kind of.
I mean, I would want Kuwabara in my school, even though he like didn't attend ever.
So I don't know. Is there anything else you want to talk about with speculation? I guess we can talk about it in regards to like who lives and who's gonna die.
Oh,
like, what do you think? Of the characters that are left, who's gonna make it to the end?
I feel like they're all gonna make it, aren't they?
You think they're all gonna make it?
I feel like we're at the end. Why did it say we're halfway through?
I don't know. I thought last trial, like, oh, you're halfway through the game. I'm like, really? I thought we were like even closer to the end based on like the students you have left.
Yeah, I thought we were at the end, and like this trial, we would figure out, oh, that body was actually Junko, and then Kyoko would show up, and there'd be like a heroic thing. And then we would win.
Okay. So you think the cast we have now, they're all making it to the end and whatever. They're going to overcome the enemy. And...
Yeah, but we're still going to be stuck in the school. And we won't have our memories yet.
Well, I agree. You're probably going to end up stuck in the school either way.
Yeah. Will we get our memories back?
I don't know if they'll get the memories back, but they'll probably become aware that they had memories before the end of the game.
Yeah, they're slowly becoming aware.
I'm not sure what's going to like trigger it, but eventually they're going to remember, like before this is through. Even though I think we're getting really close to the end. Because I kind of see this as being the last trial coming up ahead. Because of like how it's going to be, you know, brought out about Junko and all that. I think that's going to happen in the next trial. If we like get to investigate the corpse. But then again, we don't have Kyoko around to investigate with us. So maybe we won't find out.
Yeah, what's she going to do? Is she going to show up to the trial?
Because I was going to say, you know, I was talking about like make predictions of who's going to die. I think that Kyoko's going to die before the end of the game.
No.
I think she's going to make it to the end. But I think she's going to die like at the end.
Is she going to sacrifice herself so we can live?
I don't know if it's gonna be like a sacrifice type thing, but maybe something like that. I'm not sure how that would work exactly. Because it's weird. I mean, if the mastermind, which let's assume it's Junko, is the one in power and they control the executions, then how exactly do we beat them? Like, they seem to have the upper hand. Like, how exactly do we sway that?
Unless, I mean, Junko...
Unless Kyoko does find out a way, but it might come at a cost.
Yeah, Junko's gonna be distracted by a trial, isn't she? Or I guess she doesn't have to pay attention while we work everything out. Like, she could just leave Monokuma's body there and wander around. But I feel like she would be distracted, so if Kyoko's gonna do something, trial time would be a good time.
There would be, but they don't start the trial unless everyone's there, so I don't know if Kyoko would be able like to slip in and actually do whatever she has to do. So yeah, I don't know how it's all going to resolve itself. It's kind of hard to see how exactly it's going to work out.
I think the mastermind probably wants us to do the trial without Kyoko there so that we think it's Kyoko, even though we don't. The body.
I guess. I just don't really know what the whole point of it is.
I don't know either.
Like, going back to that, even though I have some ideas on like who it's gonna be like as the mastermind, and I think I know that the dead body's probably gonna be whatever the original person that died. I'm just not sure what the point of it is.
I know. Me neither.
I guess maybe they're trying to get people to turn on each other towards the end because they were all like united, and now they're like, oh look, someone else killed someone. But
I guess.
But then they're kind of breaking their own rules, so it's weird.
Yeah, they've definitely started breaking rules. They like wrote that suicide note for Sakura. Like, they're breaking all these rules. Stop it.
I guess they're getting desperate. It's a sign that maybe we're gonna win after all.
Yay.
So yeah, we discussed who we think the mastermind is, the identity of the body. What else? Who's gonna live and who's gonna die? If I had to say, I think it's the only one that could see dying at this point would be Kyoko. Just from who else is left, I don't see them dying at this point. I always thought Hiro was gonna die.
I am so annoyed he didn't.
But at this point, I don't see him dying.
I know.
Same with Jill or Toko. Like, I think she's just meant to live. I don't know why, because I still don't like her character.
I know.
Byakuya is Byakuya, and he's gonna live to the end, too. And, you know, whatever, rebuild his family's dynasty or whatever. Or try to. He's gonna, like, command us all to be his servants. He's gonna be the king of the school or whatever. I don't know, maybe he'll get better before the end, guess we'll see. But, yeah, that's about it. Makoto, he's the main character. I'd be surprised if anything happened to him before the end of the game. That'd be really weird. And I think that's everyone. Oh, Hina. Hina, I was kind of surprised too, because even though I like her, like, I thought that she was just going to be a character that was killed off at some point.
Yeah, the hot ones always die in the horror movies.
I know. I was kind of surprised by that. But, you know, I'm pleased. I don't see any sense in her dying now. I don't see what that would accomplish, really, in the context of the rest of the game. So, the only one that I think would have an impact would be Kyoko at this point, which is why I could see her dying. And then wherever we make, like, the last effort to go after the person that did it. Because, like, all along in the game, Makoto and Kyoko have kind of had this, like, master-apprentice relationship. Like, she's kind of been, like, schooling him along the way. And I think he's going to have to, like, do the last bit on his own. I think it's going to be, like, the theme.
Yeah, she trained him, and now he gets to do it.
Yep. So that's my guess. And I think that's about all I have to say. Unless you have any last words.
No.
No? What do you think about the game so far?
I like it.
I like it a lot. It's probably one of my favorite visual novels we've done.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. It's funny how, like,
I'm excited to do more of them.
There's a second game.
I know. I'm, like, confused. I need to know.
You know, it is weird. I will admit that. Because you're probably going to say the same thing I will, so you go ahead.
Like, why the heck is there a second one?
How are they going to do a second game?
Maybe it's in the past?
Could be a prequel, but that's kind of weird.
I don't know.
I kind of feel like this is like one of those concepts where it really should just be one game. But a lot of people say the second game's better anyway, but I don't know.
Maybe there's another school.
There's another school somewhere with the same thing going on.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean.
And wait, do you think it's really a reality show? Because
I mean, maybe that part was just a joke. I don't really.
Like, I thought it was Fallout. Who's gonna watch it?
Maybe there isn't anyone out there. Maybe that's just like part of the lie that Monokume's going. Because, like, the whole reality show angle just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It was something I just joked about early on. I mean, what would that accomplish, having a reality show about students murdering each other? Just like, oh yeah, it's a new world order and everything's so, like, messed
Games.
up. I guess kind of like that. Although I think the game
that's dumb.
Might have come out before Hunger Games.
Yeah, I think.
I'm not really sure.
I don't know when it came out.
I don't know anything about the Hunger Games either.
So
yeah, that's about that. So you could also leave your comments below about what you think will happen and how right you think we are or how wrong we think you are. If you do know, like, how the game ends, then don't tell us yet because we still haven't played the rest of the game. Like, even if we've got stuff right, don't be like, oh wow, good job, because then that would kind of just confirm things for us in the end. But yeah, if you want to say what you think happened, then feel free to do that, because it's interesting seeing what other people think. You know, it's been like a group effort seeing the theories for what's happened in this game, and some of them have helped me come up with the stuff that I've thought of up to this point. But yeah, I guess we'll get to recording more episodes, so we'll see you then, guys.
Bye.